Feathered dinosaurs, modern minds. Welcome to Birdlens, presented by the Birdlens app. I'm Sheila, and this is Birdlens.
I'm Victor. This is Season 1, Episode 7. In Episode 6, we turned bird brain from an insult into a question.
You need curiosity and one earlier idea. Intelligence means flexible problem solving, not acting human. No anatomy background is required, Victor.
Exactly, Sheila. We will build each biological term slowly. Then we will test it against behavior rather than make assumptions.
First, we trace living birds back to dinosaurs. Then we connect smaller bodies, changing senses, and brain design to modern cognition.
We will also separate fossil evidence from evidence in living brains. That distinction keeps this story exciting, clear, and careful.
Quick quiz, Victor. For about how long did the dinosaur lineage ancestral to birds keep getting smaller? Hold your guess until near the end.
My opinion, Sheila, is that this quiz rewards careful listening, not guessing. I will defer the answer until you reveal it near the end.
Before we go deeper, a dinosaur belongs to an evolutionary lineage. That means a family connected through ancestry. Modern birds remain within that lineage.
Miniaturization means descendants become smaller across generations. A neuron is a signaling cell. A pallium is a bird forebrain region supporting complex processing.
So a small skull does not automatically mean a simple mind. I treated skull size as a shortcut. What should place that shortcut, Victor?
Use several clues, Sheila. Behavior, sensory demands, brain structure, and cell counts. Each clue answers a different question. None decides intelligence alone.
That makes this a conversation between evidence types, not a contest. You supply anatomy, Victor, and I ask what it explains in life.
Fair division, Sheila. Anatomy proposes possibilities, while observed behavior tests them. What does that approach protect us from?
It protects us from simplistic rankings. Compared with the prior episode, today we increase technical complexity. Historically, small brains made birds seem instinct-bound, beside mammals.
That prejudice motivated searches for human-like thinking. Those searches distorted tests. Fossils and neuroscience changed the picture. Birds are surviving dinosaurs with differently organized brains.
The evolutionary origin was gradual, not a sudden switch. Feathered dinosaur relatives changed across many branches. Where does brain structure enter this history, Victor?
The telencephalon is a major forebrain area. Much of the bird chelencephalon includes pallium. That region supports complex cognitive functions.
So the pallium is not simply a mammal cortex in another animal. Is the better comparison about function rather than matching shapes exactly?
Yes, with care. The pallium has neocortex-like cognitive functions, but birds evolved a different architecture. That difference is evolution, not a deficiency.
My understanding is that smaller bodies open possibilities, while sensory changes and neural specialization alter processing. Is that accurate, or am I making evolution a straight ladder?
Evolution branches rather than climbs. Body size, senses, and neural specialization changed along different paths in different lineages.
I picture body size and brain design like suitcase size and packing. A smaller suitcase can carry more when its packing changes. Is that relationship useful?
It is useful. Neuron density means how many signaling cells fit into a given amount of brain tissue. Dense packing can raise processing capacity per mass.
Did flight create intelligence, though? Flight is demanding, but I question the assumption that one pressure explains every bird mind.
It did not act alone. Flight-related sensory demands mattered, but so did inherited anatomy and later neural specialization. One cause would oversimplify the evidence.
Here is an edge case. A dense brain may not solve every task. In fieldwork, I would compare food caching choices across species under matching conditions.
Exactly. Caching means storing food for later retrieval. Compare species in similar ecological situations rather than rank them using one puzzle.
Compared with a single puzzle score, repeated field choices are better evidence. A pitfall is calling every clever whacked genius. My tip is to record bird, task, setting, then outcome.
That field note supports repeatable comparisons. It also lets later observers check whether the same pattern appears under changed conditions.
Here is a distinct fact. Extant birds are the only dinosaurs known to have survived the Cretaceous-Paleogene mass extinction. That makes their later brain changes especially interesting.
It does, Sheila. Research reports larger, reshaped brains, relatively large telencephala, and large eyes near the origin of living birds. Small body size alone does not explain survival.
I once watched a jay hide peanuts behind a planter, then return later. Compared with a rote reflex, that behavior invites careful tests of memory.
It does, but one anecdote cannot settle the mechanism. Researchers vary locations, delays, and observers to distinguish memory from repeated movement patterns.
My mnemonic is small, sensory, specialized. Smaller bodies, demanding senses, then refined brains. The key point is that brain size alone never measures intelligence well.
Nicely reinforced. Songbirds and parrots average about twice as many neurons as primates with equal brain mass. Many of those neurons sit in the pallial forebrain.
What about Archaeopteryx, Victor? People often treat it as one neat halfway point. Does the fossil evidence support that simple story?
Not really. CT comparisons place its cranial pattern within a broader maniraptoran pattern. Ingredients for avian neural capacity were distributed among feathered dinosaur relatives.
Quiz answer. Sustained miniaturization lasted about 50 million years. That long transformation across many branches makes bird origins more than a sudden leap.
Right, Sheila. The research also found that this lineage changed skeletal adaptations unusually quickly. Deep time and innovation belong together in this story.
Our recap is simple. Birds are living dinosaurs. Compact brains can be neuron-dense, and different brain architecture can support complex cognition.
And claims need multiple clues: fossils, anatomy, neuron counts, senses, and behavior. No single measurement gives us a final intelligence ranking.
Victor, the next question turns deep history into a living engineering problem. What comes next for us in Birdlens?
Next, in Season 1, Episode 8, we ask how flight shaped the avian brain. We will follow balance, vision, movement, and neural demands.
Carry small, sensory, specialized into your next birdwatching walk. Notice behavior first, then ask what evidence would test your interpretation.
Subscribe to and rate Birdlens. Then download the Birdlens app. Thank you for listening to Birdlens.